Hi, and welcome to your client portal. This is just going to be a quick tutorial to show you how to use the system put in place to help you and the accounting firm you work with keep in touch and handle some of your business more efficiently. I'll be showing you how to receive, view, and send files back and forth, plus a little more information. First, when your accountant invites you to use the portal, you should get an email that looks like this. Should say welcome, have your name in here, let you know that you've been invited to the client portal, let you know some of the things you can do, gives you your login credentials. As you can see, it has an email in there and your password. Let you know that for security, you'll be prompted to change your password on the first login, and you can click here to access the client portal. Once you're in the client portal, it should look something like this. Now, depending on what your accountant has done so far, if they've uploaded files, if they've created folders, your main screen may look a little different from mine. You start out in what's called our library, and that's where you have all your folders that may have been created by your accountant for organizational purposes, as well as you probably will have some files that have been dropped in here that are not in a folder. It really just depends on what your accountant has done so far. Obviously, once you and your accountant start sending files back and forth, this is going to change a little bit. Yours might look a little bit empty right now, but underneath all these folders, I have some files that are in here. And if you take a look at the files, they have the file name across the top. You can see when they were uploaded into the client portal. You can see if they were uploaded by the firm or if they were uploaded by you. If you hover over them, you'll have some other options. Like here, you can see that I can download to my computer this PDF file. And that's usually the case with anything that's been uploaded by the firm. When you've actually uploaded a file, you'll have the option to download it to your computer. You can click to edit the name of the file, or you can send it to the trash area with this trash can icon. As I mentioned before, the folders that are up here, these main folders are created by your accountant, by that firm. These are all the main folders, and you won't be able to change anything about those. It's all created and organized by your accounting firm. However, you can create subfolders inside of these. So for example, if I go inside of this testing new one, you can see that I created a folder called Chris's folder, and I can add files to that folder if I want to. To create a new subfolder inside of one of those folders, you just click on this folder icon here with the plus sign, give it a name. We'll just call this one Important Documents, click OK, and now you can see that I have that subfolder that I just created. And after that, I have options to rename it, or I can delete that subfolder. If I want to go back to my main files page, I just click home, brings me back here. Now, anytime that accountant sends you a file, it will show up here in your client portal, and you'll get an email that lets you know a file has been uploaded that your accountant is expecting you to view. You can also upload files so that they can be sent directly to your accountant. To do that, you can either do it out here on the main screen, or you can go inside of your folder. For example, if you wanted to add something to that important documents folder, you could do it right from in there. And your options to do that are to either click the upload button here. That would open up a file on your computer. You can click on the file and open it to have it done that way. Or you can simply come to your computer, open up the file, grab a document, and drag and drop it directly onto the screen. Either way would put the document in your client portal, and that would send a notification to your accountant that you've uploaded a document that they need to view. Just keep in mind that once you've uploaded a document, whether you've done it out on the main screen or you've done it in a subfolder like this, once you've uploaded it, you won't be able to move it around the client portal. Only the accountants can actually move files from folder to folder and basically organize it at that point. So make sure you upload it wherever you want it to go. So I showed you that trash can icon earlier. So you can delete documents, but only the ones that you've uploaded into the client portal. You cannot delete any of the files that the accountant has uploaded for you. And just keep in mind that let's say you mistakenly drop a file into the client portal. As soon as you do that, the accountant is able to see that file. So it's possible they've seen it already, even if you do delete it. So if you made a mistake, you want to get rid of it kind of quickly, or they may have seen it already. But to delete it, you simply click on the trash can icon, confirm that you want to delete it, and it's gone. Let's go over some of the other stuff that you see here on the screen. We have a refresh button. All that does is refresh the screen for you. Make sure you're pulling all the most current information onto the screen. Right now we're looking at the screen in icon view. You can see the big file icons here. If I want to change it to list view, I just click this button here, and all the folders went into list view as well as the files. I can bring them back to icon view again with that button there. If I wanted to search for a file by name, I can use the search files field here, or I can bring up just docx files, just PDF, or just Excel files by clicking on them here. Right now I'm showing all. Same thing with this drop down here. I can show sent and received as I am now. If I wanted to see just the ones that I've sent to the accountant, I can click on sent, or just the ones that I've received from the accountant. I can sort the information here on the screen by name or by date order, and I can do it by ascending or descending. If I knew that I wanted to download everything that's on here to my computer, the quickest way to do that is to click this checkbox here where it selects all, and then hit the download button, and that would do it that way. That's all that checkbox is for, is to select all. And that's everything on the library screen. Let's take a look at what we have over here in this drop-down menu. We can always come back to the library screen by clicking on it here. If you wanted to see just your recent files, you can click on recent. If you want to see all your files in list order, you can click that button there. And with each of those, you'll have a drop-down arrow on the side that gives you some options. I can download or delete this file. For example, I have the name of the file, who added the file. So this was added by me, the portal user. This one was added by the firm. It has the date that it was added, the size of the file, and the folder that it's inside of, if it's inside of a folder. If there's nothing here, that means it's just out on the main screen. It's not inside of a folder. And if I need to move through the pages, I can do that down here. I can even change how many rows I'm seeing per page. Right now I can only see 10 rows. I could change this to 20 and see more, and so on. Then of course I have the trash area. Anything that I've moved to the trash will stay here for 30 days. After that it will be permanently deleted. If for any of these I wanted to move them back, maybe it was mistakenly put in the trash, I could just click this little arrow here to restore it, and that would put it back out in the main library. Invoices is where you go to see a list of your invoices. You start out showing everything, but you can see you have this status button here that allows you to see just the unpaid invoices, just the partially paid, just the fully paid, or just the voided out ones. I'm going to go ahead and click on unpaid so I can show you. If you were coming here just to pay your invoices, you could choose that option and get everything else out of the way. You can see I have 2 unpaid invoices on here. If the firm you're working with provides an online payment processing option, you'll be able to pay AR transactions right here in the portal. It'll basically go something like this. You would choose the invoice that you wanted to pay. I'm just going to go ahead and choose this one here. You have a little arrow next to it. Click on that to get the pay option. That brings you to this screen where you'll see the options for whatever your accounting firm uses for payments, like Stripe, in this example for credit card payment, or you might see CPA charge, which allows you to put in your bank info for a bank transfer. In this case, you can see that we have pay clicks over here as a second option. If you see CPA charge, it's important to note that only US and Canadian customers are allowed to pay using that method. If you're from another country, please contact the accounting firm for other instructions. But you basically click on the payment option that you want to use. Like for this example, I'll just go ahead and use Stripe. Click continue with payment. That pops up and shows you the invoices that you're paying, the invoice number and the amount with the total amount. So if I were doing both of those invoices I had out there, I would see them listed here, but I'm just paying one. I'll click on submit payment, and that actually brings me to the screen where I need to put in my payment information. Mine is recognizing me, so it's got my email and my credit card information in here already. If you're doing it for the first time, you're probably going to need to put in your credit card information and all the usual information you put in when you're making a payment online. Then I would click pay, it would process, and it should bring me up an option to get a receipt. Right, generate payment receipt. I can continue without that. If I do want a receipt, it will download it to my computer. Let's take a look at that. This just shows you kind of what the receipt will look like. Back on the client portal screen, I'm going to go ahead and click continue. And now you can see that it's paid. If I come back to my invoices, you can see that one was paid. I still have one outstanding that I need to get to at some point, right? And obviously over here to the side, I didn't point this out before. I should have pointed out that you can actually view the invoice if you want to click on it. It will download it to your computer where you can actually look at the invoice. But back out here, we have one other thing here that you can do in the client portal that's really cool. If the firm provides an online payment processing option, you'll be able to send prepayments here too. That's over here in the deposit section. So just like with a credit card payment, you have your options up top, the one you want to choose. You can put in the amount that you want to prepay. You'll need to type in a description, something about what that prepayment is for, then continue with the payment, and it basically goes through the same process as if you were making a credit card payment. But this would be prepaying for something. So if your accountant wants you to prepay for some work before they get started on it, that allows you to take care of that right here inside the client portal too. I think that pretty much covers it for the client portal. By becoming comfortable with the use of the portal, you'll find it's an easy, secure, and fast way to get information back and forth to and from your accounting firm. Thank you for watching.